The Marvels, which serves as a sort of amalgamation sequel to 2019's Captain Marvel and both the WandaVision and Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series, brought a trio of heroes together to face a multiversal threat. And it seemed to have more odds stacked against it than your usual Marvel Studios movie. The actors' strike prevented the cast from participating in the usual press tour. The track record of recent MCU entries tempered expectations. And a sect of the internet that's inherently opposed to women at the helm became vocal before the Marvels even had its premiere. Each point considered, the Marvels still managed to deliver one of the MCU's most enjoyable experiences yet, a cosmic comedy carrying plenty of emotional weight. With Carol Danvers, Brie Larson, Monica Rambeau, Teyonah Parris, and Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani, finally joining forces thanks to some surprisingly easy-to-follow logistics, it's an under 2-hour ride that's blessed by a solid villain, Zawe Ashton's Dar-Benn. Another Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, outing, and a supporting cast among the franchise's best. It's that franchise's existence, however, that ultimately sullies what the Marvels accomplishes. A final scene with the sole purpose of setting up a new team of young heroes and an end credits tag meant to usher in the Mutants leaves us with a rushed, disjointed ending to an otherwise excellent movie. The Marvels is a good movie, but its ending didn't stick the landing. Despite some mixed reception, The Marvels is overflowing with positives that effectively outweigh its debatable flaws. Ultimately, the film has fallen victim to the Avengers' Endgame burden, a sort of post-Infinity Saga syndrome that, frankly, puts an unfair level of expectation on Endgame's subsequent entries. If The Marvels had been a part of Phase 1 or 2 of the MCU, it would have undoubtedly been regarded as an impressively concise and entirely fun comic book movie. Yes, the MCU needs to slow down with the rapid-fire introductions of new characters, but plenty of its Phase 4 and 5 installments have been judged a bit too harshly, all thanks to the triumphant manner in which Phase 3 was concluded. If a deeper breath was taken, if this era was witnessed with the mindset of the MCU's earlier days, these movies would have a better shot at garnering a decent reception. We'll get to the next Endgame eventually, let's have some innocent fun along the way. Of course, Marvel Studios must be aware of the expectations that they've built, and that's why The Marvels, a film that should be remembered for its top-notch fight choreography, its thankless delivery of a villain with relatable motives, and its ability to ride the line of comedy without ever breaching overboard, has been bogged down by the burden of building the future of the franchise. It's a heavy yoke to carry, and the blame is not to be placed on the Marvels team. The three leads share some of the best chemistry the MCU has seen in years. The film's director, Nia DaCosta, has shown a deep understanding of how to make the swift, sweeping joy of a comic book translate to the screen. There's a fleet of space cats, there's singing, but not too much, and, above all, it's fun. Then, unfortunately, the franchise-building scenes are tacked on, and that's when everything simply falls flat. The Marvels uses its ending to set up the Young Avengers. Carol Danvers and Kamala Khan smiling at each other in the Marvels image via Disney. Despite all that the Marvels was able to accomplish in its, albeit a bit too short, runtime, what should have been the final scene was abruptly interrupted by a moment so out of place that, by the time the credits started rolling, the warm feeling the movie had created was already fading away. After the film's climax, in which the marvelous trio successfully thwarts Dar-Benn, Monica Rambeau is left behind in another universe after making the self-sacrificial move to close a hole that had been torn open in space-time. The haste of that battle's conclusion aside, we'll get to that in a moment, it's bookended by an endearing scene between Carol and Kamala. Carol, seemingly settling down on Earth for the first time in decades, has chosen to look after Monica's home, remaining hopeful that she'll one day return. Moreover, the scene gives Kamala a quiet, genuine moment of togetherness with Captain Marvel, her hero-turned-friend, ally, and mentor. This is where the Marvels should have ended. An intimate, character-driven bow tie after a fast-paced hour-and-a-half-ish of cosmic entanglement would have surely left a comfortable majority walking out of the theater with smiles stretched across their faces. However, at the tail end of this ideal ending, Kamala has an idea. Cut to the apartment of Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld. Hopefully, you watched the Hawkeye series, or you might have been a bit confused.